Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first edition of PV Unleashed. Brr, 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 brr.
Hey,
Uh,
what's going
How
on?
y'all doing?
I am Morgan Hendricks. Y'all go ahead
I'm
and introduce.
Armani Biggers.
I'm
I'm
Maya
Cameron
Davis.
Smith.
I'm Jay McGee.
And
Oh, and
this
I'm
is
Cameron
PV
Smith.
Unleashed. Oh.
There you go.
All right, well, let's jump right into it today, guys. Of course, over the weekend and really up until today, the biggest controversy has been the release of Lil Nas X's video, Montero, Call Me By Your Name. Uh, the video showed a couple different scenes of some different religious imagery and things like that. Of course, the main subject of controversy being the end of the video where Lil Nas X gives a lap dance to who but Satan. What do you guys think about that? Or what y'all think about the video?
Who want to go first? Because I have a lot to say.
Man, right.
I can go first. I'll say something. So the video, I didn't actually see the whole full video. I just seen clips of it, but from what I seen was he was just expressing himself like how everybody else does. I don't really, I didn't really see a problem with it. Yeah, it's edgy, it's provocative, it's whatever. But I feel like the way he explained it, he was like, "Yeah, I've been made feel bad for how I am my whole life, and now I'm taking that control back and I'm showing that, and I feel happy for myself." I'm like, "That's cool. That's what life is about." So he doing that, I support it. You know what I'm saying? Cool. I don't have no problem with it. That's just me. So yeah.
Well, and Lil Nas X did an interview with Complex where he said people already demonized him for who he is as a black gay man. And so with this video, he was just like, you know what, I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna, make it make it do what it do.
Right, exactly.
So where you get the video, what did you guys think about like kind of the reaction to the video?
So for me, let's just talk about this video first. For me, the video was a lot. It was a lot in it. And it definitely kind of it played a scene with the Bible, I guess you could say, because in the beginning of the video, that's supposed to be like Adam and Eve, the apple, the snake, whatever, eat the apple, whatever. It's like basically kind of accepting sin. Um, it was a lot. It was a lot to take in. A lot of emotions, kind of like, okay, what's going on? But like at the end, like after he kind of explained, it's kind of like, okay, I see where you came from, and I see where how you feel. Maybe the way you went about it probably wasn't the best, but then again, it kind of just draws me to let's talk about the Christian, Christian mindset and how Christians treat um, people in the LGBT community. And, a lot of times Christians say, we love all and, we're going to be for them and we're going to da 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 da. But yet we exclude and don't show love to a lot of people in the LGBT community. We be messy,
Right.
we push them out the church. And we have to ask ourselves, why do we make a person feel this way? Why do they feel like they had to go to this extent to make a video for y'all to listen, to look up and say, okay, well, y'all already demonized me for being a homosexual man. So let me go ahead and just make a video anyway, just to do it. I mean, I love that he's, expressing himself. I love that. I'm all for it. But, it just sucks because it's different aspects to this that we got to really break down and look into. But the video itself, I mean, it was just a lot for me on my end.
Yeah, and I agree. Even just watching the video, because really today is like the first time that I actually watched the video. Of course, I'd seen clips and things online, but I completely understood where he was coming from. Especially as Black people in Black churches and things like that, we kind of tend to demonize people that are different, you know what I'm saying? Or not even different, just that, doing them, So I definitely understand that. For me, my only issue is I just don't like seeing imagery like that. Of course, it's not the first time that we've seen this kind of imagery in music or in pop culture. Somebody told me they were like, there's literally a group called 3 6 Mafia that was going hard in the early 2000s. You know what I'm saying? So it's not anything new. Even last year, I believe it was, or early this year, Match.com had the ad where it was like 2020 was the year from hell. And so they had 2020 over here with Satan, you know what I'm saying? Um, but, so it's not new. For me, it's just my only issue is that I just don't like seeing the imagery in general.
Yeah, I feel like as a business and like creative wise and getting his content out there, I feel like that was, an interesting way to get his name out there. I mean, we know Lil Nas being a troll and always breaking boundaries somehow, some way. So when it comes to that retrospect, I could understand it, but also personally, I didn't really care for the video like that. That's just me personally. I didn't really like it or care for it. But I will say, in a business aspect, that was a smart move for him. That's just something that he would do. Like you would only expect that from Lil Nas X.
Right.
Right.
Um, and,
Absolutely.
and yeah, absolutely. And people go back to like his days as a barb. Nicki Minaj's stands are notorious for being, kind of over the top with some things, and him coming from that, his trolling days, he's one of the strongest trolls we know.
Mm-hmm.
um, but let's get into some of these some of our viewer comments. Olivia Lemon, the main squeeze, she was like, she's scared of Satan. And I mean, I don't blame her, especially in our culture. You know, I feel like we've got to make the distinction between religion and spirituality, because it's easy to be caught up in, Christian this and Christian that, and you shouldn't do this or you shouldn't do that. For one, everybody's walk is their own. Um, so I don't think we should be really putting that on anybody, what we think they should be doing with their own stuff. Of course, we can comment what we think about it for ourselves, but to be, shaming somebody for, how they go about it, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Now, getting to the other part of this rollout though, Lil Nas X, in addition to the Montero video, put out a custom shoe in partnership with Mischief, who has done some other customs before. Um, they created the Satan shoe, if you will. Is this shoe right here, and Nike is actually suing Mischief over the controversial shoe, um, mainly because Nike was not a part of it, and that brings a whole nother thing into it because with customs and putting branding and cross branding, all of that kind of stuff. Um, I can say for myself, the shoes were a bit much for me. I could do the video. The shoes were a bit much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Um,
in one of the
that's
shoes,
over the
it
top.
also said that it had like a drop of human blood in it too, and I'm like,
Hmm.
that
Yeah, that's
no.
a little too much. I don't know. Yeah, I don't
That
know
was
about
over the
that
Ooh.
one.
top.
I don't know about
right.
that one.
Yeah, it was just the shoe was just a little too much with all of the imagery on it. It had like the 666 on there. Of course, the drop of human blood. I'm like, yeah,
And with that, Morgan, you make a great point. But let's go back to Lil Nas being a troll with this. Like,
right.
even though he's getting sued because of the shoe, he's making jokes about it. I guess he's
Yeah.
making light of the situation. I don't know if a lot of y'all seen some of the stuff he's posted on Twitter using SpongeBob references and stuff like that. He's having a
Hmm.
blast. And I mean, at this point, I mean, I guess he got what he wanted, the attention. I mean, his video is doing well with views.
Right.
So, I mean, the shoe was a bit much, though. Like the 666 pair, like 36 of the 606 pair. Yeah, you lost me. You lost me there. I
Somebody
don't
should have
know.
asked him what he was thinking.
Yeah, like, yeah,
And
yeah.
the shoes actually sold out in like under a minute. So,
Man, I didn't know that.
somebody's
Yeah.
receiving it, somebody's liking the product. So,
I don't even want that in my house.
right.
Yeah, I was thinking about it like who are weirdos. It's crazy.
Whew. I mean, there's a lot of people that would wear them. Like, I mean, that's just
Well, and Miley Cyrus was actually photographed in them. Of course, she's the daughter of Lil Nas collaborator Billy Ray Cyrus from Old Town Road. But yeah, she was photographed in them, like, putting on for her people.
Whew.
Mm-mm.
This is a hot pot. A hot
This
It's
pot.
messy, man.
hot mess. This
It
sounds
get
like
real
chemo.
messy.
Mm-mm.
Like,
Yeah.
whew.
Well, and we know anytime that we get into things with that cross between religion and things like that and spirituality, it can be a bit touchy. As we saw over the weekend, there were a couple of celebrities and things like that, NBA players that made comments that were just a little kind of unfounding for me because Nick Young, who is a former NBA player, said that my kids will never play Old Town Road again, and he's still debating about wearing Nikes. And Jordan Lucas was like, the biggest problem is that kids listening to Old Town Road, basically, kind of equating it to that. And Lil Nas came back on that, and he was like, Old Town Road is about lean and adultery. Why are you letting your kids listen to this in the first place?
That is true. Yeah.
Kind of going back to the Charles Barkley had a promotion back in the 90s where I'm not a role model, don't let me raise your kids, you raise your kids.
And that is an
um
excellent point. That is a very excellent point. I mean, I guess it's just really easier to blame the big guy in the situation,
right.
which a lot of times artists do take the blame for a lot of stuff that people accept in their homes. Like we could say with Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, what was that song called? WAP.
Wow, wow.
I mean, they're just expressing themselves as women, how they feel, and then people are like, oh, well, we have kids watching this video. Why are you letting your kids watch this in the first place? You have
Yeah,
that discretion to let your child watch this or not. I mean, it's up to you how you raise your kid. They're human beings just like us. They talk about their feelings. They feel how they feel just like we do. Sometimes we have to separate artists from human and put ourselves in their shoes. How we feel if we're expressing ourselves. And we made a song called WAP, just trying to empower women. I guess let's just say they're empowering women and oh, you're nasty. Our kids don't watch this. We're never listening to it again. Well, for me, I'm just expressing myself, But a lot of artists take the blame for that. They're always the bad guy. They don't ever have a day off. They're either the good guy in the situation or the bad guy, and it honestly sucks.
yeah, I completely agree. Well, guys, any last thoughts before we sign off?
A hot mess.
I I feel like everybody should just stick to their own lane and and focus on what they need to do to better themselves, and everybody will be in better positions at the end of the day. If we all just focus on
Agreed.
our separate goals and stay on our own lane, we'll be fine. That's all I say.
Yes, sir,
Agreed.
I second that.
Yep.
All righty, guys, we're gonna sign off here. I'm Morgan Hendricks,
I'm Cameron Smith.
I'm Mary
Like
Davis.
Jay McGee.
and we've been PV Unleashed.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for tuning in, guys.